Hey everyone, Derek from Anypay here. I'm getting a lot of questions about scanning QR codes and what does it all mean? What is this payment protocol and why is it important? In the old days, when you used Bitcoin, you used a QR code with your wallet to send to your friend's wallet, and it would include just the address. It was really just a QR version of your address, and then you put in the amount yourself. Then a protocol was invented saying, aha, we are going to make this sending Bitcoin thing even easier. In this QR code, your wallet will now have the ability to scan not just the address, but the address and an amount. And this was a major innovation. It made Bitcoin a lot easier to use. Not every wallet supported this at first. Some wallets, amazingly, still don't. But this is a really standard way for people to send Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies from one wallet to another. Now, what if you want to send a payment? A payment is a little different than just sending Bitcoin from one person to another. If you want to send Bitcoin to your friend, they have one address, you send from your wallet to their address, and all is done. But a payment is different. Sometimes a payment involves multiple different people. You need to pay your, let's say you want to make a payment for a rock concert, and you buy your ticket, and it's $20. $10 can go from your wallet to the rock group, the doorman or woman, the bartender, security, all wrapped up in one nice output. So you can actually send a payment to one QR code with your wallet, and it goes to many different people. It gets broadcast much faster to the network, and so it gets seen better, or it gets rejected completely. This is a new thing, newish. I mean, it's been around for about 5 years, but it's really finally coming into its own, and you're seeing it in more wallets, and Anypay uses this payment protocol. And the reason why is because it makes all of our merchants have a happy experience, because they always get paid the exact amount right away, and you can include multiple outputs. So, all right, how does it work? Currently, the way that you are probably used to using Bitcoin is you have your wallet and the merchant's wallet. There's a QR code that Anypay would present to you, or the merchant would present to you, and it would say, here, send Bitcoin to this address. Your wallet would go and send the transaction to the transaction processors or the miners. They would bounce that signal all around the network, and then they would tell the merchant wallet, hey, look, you know, one of your addresses just got a payment. And that's good. This takes a few seconds. It's pretty instant. And if you've used Bitcoin, you've seen this. This is good. There's some problems. You can only send one to one output doing it this way, and you could send the wrong amount. You know, you could they could request $20. You could send 200, and then oh, whoops, you know, I've typed it in wrong. It's no good. Or anyway, you could construct it a lot of different ways. So the way the payment protocol works instead is that Anypay gives you this QR code. Your wallet constructs the transaction, sees, okay, what's the information that I need to get? What's relevant to me? Okay, this is the outputs, the different wallets that I'm paying. Here are the amounts, you know, so okay, we've got all these transactions, all these amounts, and this is where it's going. It wraps that all up in a signed transaction and hands it over to Anypay. And Anypay looks it over, we say, yeah, okay, it's got all the things, or no, it doesn't have the things, we reject it. Or no, it looks all good, okay. Then Anypay broadcasts this transaction right to the transaction processors. So Anypay's payment screen will say paid instantly. As soon as your wallet sends that valid transaction and Anypay receives it, checks it over, says good, Anypay will say paid and your wallet will see that transaction happen because it will get broadcast to the transaction processors. This all happens in a split second, but this is really cool because once you enable, what's happening in here is instead it used to be an address, right, in this QR code, and then it was an address and an amount, right, and that was pretty cool. But what this payment protocol does in this QR code is it actually has a URL, or a URI in this case, a Universal Resource Indicator. So your wallet needs to be able to scan a QR code and say, hey, wait a minute, this has a URL in it. This isn't an address. I need to go to this URL and look up the information that's on that server that's relevant to this transaction. Now, there's going to be something here for me. So it goes to this URL and it grabs the information, constructs the transaction, signs it, broadcasts it to Anypay, and then Anypay broadcasts it to the transaction processors. So in essence, what is happening, the important difference is your wallet is used to scanning addresses and amounts. But no, we're not going to do that anymore. It's only going to be URL style. It reduces the number of errors by about 99%. Almost all of errors are due to users changing the amount or doing something wrong with their wallets. It's impossible using URL style. It's faster. It's going to be instant when you pay. And it allows for multiple outputs. So when a merchant, say, wants to do complicated things like pay the delivery driver or have outputs going to their staff as part of a tipping scheme, or they just want to pay a percentage to the person who set them up with Anypay, or any number of reasons why they would want to have more than one output, they can do that. So this is really important. Payment protocol. Your wallet needs to be able to scan a QR code that has a URL. If it doesn't, it's not a good enough wallet, and it needs to be upgraded so that it knows what to do when it sees a URL. Go to that address, grab the information that's relevant, construct the transaction, and send it away. And then the merchant gets it. Of course, it goes right to the merchant's wallet. That's another important difference. With a lot of these old-style addresses, you were going to that address, and then that would get sent to the miners, and then there would have to be a forwarding transaction that would go to the merchant. But actually, with the QR code that includes a URL, you can tell your wallet, hey, you need to go right here. You need to go right to this merchant's wallet. So instead of going and bouncing around and getting rebroadcast, like, oh, okay, send this transaction and it'll be forwarded along, which incurs another transaction fee, you can go direct right to the merchant. So it's cheaper, it's faster, it involves more outputs, so optionally you can include more outputs. That's what this is all about. I hope that this has been helpful. Payment protocol, learn more at anypayinc.com.